Welcome back, everybody, to the Positively Awesome podcast. It's yours truly, the Drip King, and I am joined, as always, by my better half on this shindig here, Tidey. Tidey, how are you doing, and how has your time away from the show been, brother?
Oh, man, I had a lot of time to relax, work, vacation, rain. I'm in California, so the news reports are half true. Certain places are just got no flooding. Like, and other places do have flooding, but you know what? I'm tired of water, man.
Yeah, y'all never get rain, and then for whatever reason, y'all just got like 6-7 straight days of it, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't even shower anymore. I don't want to be in water. I just take baths. I just act like I'm intentionally jumping into a lake instead of just having it poured on my head when I step outside my door.
Yeah, I saw that. People were like, we want the rain to stop. I was like, man, y'all never get rain. Why y'all want it to stop? But then I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess too much rain would probably not.
Shit gets old. It gets old really quick.
We got some heads in the chat already. We got David. Good evening, Jack. Good evening, David. Good to see you, bud. It's been a long time, but we're back, and we're back into the show. We're back into the swing of things, baby. Got Courtney in the chat. Hello, Courtney. Thank you for joining us. David said he got some notes. I knew you would, but I know you got some stuff covered that I won't. So that's always a good thing. Looking good, babe. Thank you, babe. Thank you very much. But as always, you are looking much better. So this is one of the things I didn't have. Congrats to Josh. We're going to basically talk about the stuff we missed over the past few weeks and then talk about the predictions. That's what the show is today. Sorry. We rusty, but we've been off, so it's to be expected. But this is one of the things I didn't have. Josh Alexander, he retained the Impact title against Bully Ray. Apparently that was a really fun program. Bully Ray does what he does. He's an awesome heel. He will never lose it. So we'll get to the elite shit. Excuse me. Nice to have Santino Marella back. That's right. He was with
Love that guy.
He was on the Impact. He's, I think, the almost like the commissioner. I don't remember the title, but I know he's playing like a one of those kind of roles. Kobe Carino signs with WWE. I heard that he was. I didn't know he actually did, but that's cool. Jay White versus Eddie Kingston at Battle of the Valley. That's cool. That's the one that Mercedes is going to be on for New Japan. And then Mickie James won the Impact Knockout Championship. So her retirement is still on hold. I think she's in a program where the next time she loses, she's done. I think that's what it is, but I can't remember.
Well, she still got it. She still got it. Let her do it.
Yeah. And is it DOA? Director of Authority, I think, is the title of Santino Marella's thing. But back to the show. So here's some other things that we missed, didn't get a chance to talk about. Some of the things for you, some of the things not for you, but yeah. So there he is. It was Director of Authority. That's Santino Marella's role in Impact. Let's start with the WWE because man, a lot has happened. We saw the return of John Cena, where he teamed up with Kevin Owens and he beat Roman Reigns. How shocked were you with that one?
I wasn't shocked. I was sure it was gonna happen. I mean, I wanted John to wrestle more, but you know he ain't been in the ring or had his Rogaine in years. So I mean, we can't expect.
Man, we bringing up the bald spot, man. I'm bald.
I love it.
It happens. It happens. Yeah, it happens, man.
I love it.
This
is by choice.
No, he's still the man. He's still the man.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love seeing it, dude. Period. So I wasn't surprised.
So that was the show I was at. And man, like he was on the bucket list. Like I have to see John Cena live. He's one of the last ones that I haven't seen that is a wrestler at the moment where I'm like, I have to see John Cena. And I got to, and it exceeded all expectations. It is such a crazy just atmosphere that happens when John Cena's in the ring. I don't know if it's always been this way or if it's just that way now because, we only have so many left with him. But, man, I was just kind of like in awe, just like, that's John Cena. It was a fun show to see in person, 100%. And the part of it that was cool to me is that my Mount Rushmore is Stone Cold, Hollywood, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, John Cena. That's the four biggest in the industry, in my opinion. I've now seen 3 of those 4 live, and that's just like, what? I'll never see the 4th. Hulk Hogan, he's not wrestling anymore, but I'll accept 3 out of 4. That's cool as shit to me. But on to other things that have happened. The Hurt Business seems to be reuniting. I'm all for that. Are you for this? I know you, Bobby, man. What about
I'm kind of okay with it because like MVP will be interesting. So it'll be nice. It's interesting as shit to see how they're gonna put them all together against Cedric and them. So that's gonna be interesting enough. What MVP is gonna say? Bobby's like, I'll just say it's good you brought me back. Yeah. That's it. He said that on Twitter, right? But I like the singles run with Bobby. I hope they're just like more of a faction. Bobby gets to do his thing.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Kind of how they did it the first run. The first run, I thought they handled it well. They just ended it way too soon. I'll be interested to see if Omos stays because he hasn't been on TV in a long time. So maybe they're just like they're pushing him down. We'll revisit this project a few years down the road. I don't know, but he hasn't been on, so I'll be curious to see that. And just to touch on this, Roman never lost. Sammy got pinned. Roman lost. There is an L in that man's win-loss column because he lost. Match. Yep. He lost. That was significant. That was a very significant match.
Yeah, he didn't get pinned, and as a proud person that Roman is, like that was in my shoulders.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. He can say that. But it's a tag team. You lost.
So next up, we had Charlotte Flair, your girl, return and do what she does best: take a title off of somebody immediately.
I was happy for it though.
Again, this happened at the same show where John Cena was at. That show, there was so much that happened. This was just one of those things, and I was like, "Oh, Charlotte's here. This is a cool surprise because she does get pops when she shows up. She's very popular amongst the WWE crowd. I can't hate on her, but man, it was like she won the title already. What just happened? But it's shot. So now my mind is all over the place. I have no idea what they're going with the SmackDown title at WrestleMania because I just don't know what you do with it now. I'm curious. It'll be interesting. We had Uncle Howdy finally show up in person, and again, that was crazy to see. And yeah, 40 seconds. That was horrible 40 seconds for me. I had to just sit there and deal with it. She was excited to see her. My son was excited to see her too, and I'm just like, man, this is bullshit. If we had more time, I'd break it down. I really would break it down, but we won't. We have other business to tend to. Maybe another day. But Uncle Howdy, he's now out there in person, which I don't want to say I'm not a fan of it, but I didn't think it was the right thing to do with that character. They've done it. I'll see what happens. And he attacked Bray Wyatt. It's like, what? What's going on?
Bray, why are you fighting yourself? Stop punching yourself, Bray.
And with that, after this past week, we've seen, I don't know if you caught the QR code that showed up, but The Fiend.
I see the Fiend thing going. Yeah.
So now I'm all giddy because I'm like, I'm going to the Royal Rumble. Am I going to get to see The Fiend return? That's what I think's happening. But
man, I'm done. I'm done trying to understand what's going on with the bloodline. I'm done trying to understand what's going on with Bray Wyatt because he just pulled the shit out of left field. Was like, I'm all the shit that I was saying. I am Howdy. I'm going back. I'm a rebel. What I am. You better run. He's saying all this stuff. I'm just done trying to figure it out.
I think this is interesting because Road Dogg has been producing a lot of the Bray stuff this last several weeks. And I saw this past week's, the one that happened on this past SmackDown, and I kind of was like annoyed. I didn't know, it was before I knew the Fiend thing, but I was just like, what was the point of this promo? It didn't seem like there was a reason for it or anything like that. Then the QR code thing happened. I'm like, oh, okay, well, Fiend. And I'm just a fanboy. It's like, yeah, I hope something happens at the Rumble that makes everything click because I feel like it's just I'm kind of jumping on the bandwagon of like, all right, Bray, come on, what's happening? But still, I'm a geek boy out when I see the Fiend do his little entrance at Royal Rumble, 100%. Bring Night Vision. It's just gonna be a no DQ match. That's all it's gonna be. Hey, I did talk about my girls, and it would be pretty wild if they just cut the lights off and all you heard was like boom, bam, bam. You didn't get to see a match. You just got to hear noises. But Vince ain't in charge anymore. That ain't going to happen. Speaking of Vince McMahon, this man has forced his way back on the board. And, man, that caused a lot of stress. Stephanie stepped down because of it. We had the rumor Tuesday night that sent everybody into a complete whirlwind that Saudi group had purchased WWE, and that was detrimental to my mental health 100%.
Yep. I had a panic attack, dude. I lost my shit.
It was bad, but that's all done. It was all just rumor, and it's not true, so we will wait to see what happens next. Please, Comcast, jump in there and do your job. Mandy Rose was released because of her extracurricular activities, and that caused quite a bit of commotion amongst the people. I'll leave it at that. I won't say my piece on it. People have their thing, but yeah, I was mad at the idea of a Saudi group buy. I was legit mad because two of the things I love the most is Sami Zayn and the women's wrestling, and you have to just expect those to take a hit if a Saudi group was the people in charge.
I literally was talking about it with my roommate, and then I started crying. I literally broke down crying. I was like, that means everything that I hoped for is over because of some evil, crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You're killing my little dreams I had, man. Why are you gonna do that?
I'll say the one last thing about Vince is that I always kind of respect him for what he's done and what he's brought to us. As a person, I know he's done some shady shit and he's not a great person, but for what he's done for professional wrestling, I've always been like, yo, thank you, Vince. This makes me just be like, yo, kiss my ass, man. Go away. Don't ever come back. We don't need you no more because we don't. The show has been fantastic without him. It's on the upward trajectory. No need for him to come back. So we'll see what happens. Bye-bye, Peacock. And I don't think that would happen. I don't think that would happen. Maybe they would lose Peacock, but then they could just do the network again, which a lot of people want anyway.
I wouldn't watch it. If it was sold to Saudi, dude,
I'd have a hard time. I'd give it a little bit just to see if things changed.
Watch as like I'm interested in what's going on, kind of thing. Yeah, I'm
always going to, because there's people that I want to support as well. I would give it the opportunity to just say, okay, well, nothing major is going to change. The show goes on, kind of like I did with NXT when it went to NXT 2.0. I'll give it a chance. If they would have shit the bed, then bye-bye. I got other wrestling shows I can go watch 100%. But again, Mandy Rose released because of her stuff. And then the return of Cody Rhodes has begun with the video packages. Royal Rumble is where he'll be. That'll be fun. I think you'd have to give it a shot, honestly. It's such a weird thing, but Saudi has their money in other things that we use on a daily basis. So it's not like WWE is the end all be like, well, so that's the only thing Saudi's got in. So blah, blah, blah. I couldn't do it. Again, I'd give it a chance. I wouldn't be.
I mean, it's like ownership versus like having money and shares and stuff. I mean,
but if Vince was in charge, then are they whereas they may own it, really they're just funding it at that point. If Vince is in charge, which is what I think he wants anyway, and that's why he would want to push that sale. I don't know. I'd have to wait and see. I don't like to jump to conclusions on stuff. Obviously, the idea is, oh, that'd be bad, but surprise me. We'd see. It's a quote the great Christopher Judas, the very evil Christopher Judas. Vince, GFY. You can figure that one out. I agree. I'm officially on that bandwagon with the Vince hate. I just go away, man. Just enjoy your life. We will now move over to the AEW, where since last time we chatted, everybody, Darby Allin has become the TNT champion again in what was an awesome match he had with Samoa Joe. Darby Allin has become one of my favorite people to watch just because I want to see what this dumbass is going to do next. What is he going to do to test the limits of what his body can do? Because he's a nutcase. He is certifiably insane with the stunts that he does. And it's fun to watch. It really is fun to watch. You root for this little guy. FTR has lost all of their gold. That's a sad day. And in the meantime, Dax has started a podcast in which he pissed a bunch of people off because he went on it and praised CM Punk for a good 2 hours.
Oh,
Talked about how appreciative Punk was and how not everybody in that locker room has this bad taste in their mouth of him, and how he was respectful towards people and just really appreciative to be there. So you have 2 stories now. You got to kind of just pick which one you want to believe. And yeah, so I enjoyed that podcast because it was like, oh, this is refreshing. But yeah, some people didn't like it, so that happened. And this is going to go hand in. I'll go ahead and give my New Year's resolution first. I've made the resolution that I am going to stop hating on the Young Bucks for being who they are. I'm going to give them an honest try. And with that, we saw, I think only one of the best of 7 matches had happened since our last one, but we've seen the conclusion since then. 7 matches between Death Triangle and the Elite. And I got to give credit where credit's due. Not a single one of those matches was the same, which is insane to think about when I look at Young Bucks matches and I look at Lucha Brothers matches. They're all kind of the same. Like, they may not come across the same, but they're all like fast-paced, high spot. Let's get everything in. Those are the kind of matches they do. And it's kind of like, okay, it's fun every once in a while, but don't do it all the time. But when they can do, 7 matches in a row, and I'm watching them, and I don't feel like I'm watching the same match every week, that's impressive to me. It's kind of impressive. I started watching the Young Bucks not as, okay, let's watch this professional wrestling match. Let's look at this amazing display of athleticism, because that's what they do. What they do in the ring is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And the fact that they keep it up for 20 minutes, it's just like, wow, it's very impressive. I enjoyed the best of 7. That's not something I ever thought I would say, but it happened. You laughing at me? Stop it. It's not funny. Darby versus Kushida on Wednesday. Yes, Kushida will be on. I know you remember him from NXT. He'll be on Dynamite this week, facing Darby.
Oh, nice.
My son is super excited about that one. He loves Kushida and he loves Darby. Match 6 was insane. Match 7 was kind of they didn't get enough time, I think, for the match 7. But anyway, the Elite ended up winning. I knew they would, but this goes into David's prediction that he has here. I didn't have it, so we'll put it up there. Punk and FTR will hold the trios titles. I literally was just at the edge of my seat for the end of match 7 because Kenny Omega was climbing the ladder, and I was like, this is where Punk returns and screws them over and sets up. I was literally just waiting for it. It didn't happen. I was like, I guess it was fun though, so I didn't hate on it. But that's AEW. I'm trying to get through them, everybody. I promise you. And now, as far as outside of the AEW world, the wrestling in Japan has been kind of wild to start the year off. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay put on the definition of a banger. When Sheamus is going banger after banger after banger, you look up banger in the dictionary, and this match is what you're looking at. I don't know if David sent you the link to watch it yet. Mm-hmm. He will. I know he will. I haven't seen it. It is amazing. It is simply amazing. Will Ospreay has transitioned himself, or he's changed his style over the past couple years, and it's something I actually get behind. He's not just flippy do like Ricochet. Like, he's actually bringing in some. He slows the pace down. He gets brutal. Pacing is always a big thing, and he's learned to control it from time to time. Will Ospreay is fantastic, and Kenny Omega in Japan is just a different kind of animal. The match was insane. So watch it when he sends you a link. You will not be disappointed. Punk returning would have overshadowed Cole's return. Yeah, but the show itself was awesome. It would have been fine. Brian Danielson showed up right after Adam Cole, and that was still looked at as an awesome night. So it could have done it. And yeah, there you go. Adam Cole, baby, has returned. That was one of those moments where it happened. I was just like, oh, finally. It was just there was no pop. It was just like, oh my goodness, there it is. It's finally happening. He's back. He teased the retirement there for a second. He's like, I got some bad news, and he's like, everybody in the locker room's screwed. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about, baby. So Adam Cole's back. Thank goodness. On top of Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, though, Mercedes Moné debuted in New Japan. She went and stared down Kairi in her New Japan title. Apparently, it's been a big hit. They got 40,000 new subscribers. There was something else. They've already sold out their next show that she'll be on where she faces Kairi. So it's been a pretty big deal. We'll see how it goes. A lot of people thought she was going to debut on Dynamite this past week. It didn't happen. They were mad. Get over it. That's what I say about it. They never said she was coming, so just deal with it. There you go. David said he just sent you the link.
Yes, thank you, David.
And then also Shinsuke Nakamura had a great match with the Great Muta of all people for Noah. I don't know if you've seen anything about this one, but Great Muta likes to spit the stuff in people's faces. He went to do it to Shinsuke. Shinsuke locked lips with him, sucked it out, and then spit it in his face, and then hit him with the Kinshasa and pin him. Great finish. Great finish. It's a little gross to think about that he's just swapping, liquids in their mouth and stuff. But the finish itself is just so brilliant, and I think that the color of the mist changed when it transitioned from Muta to Nakamura, because he did it earlier and it was one color, but then when Nakamura did it, it was a different color. So it was very, very, very cool. Here we go. Next prediction: Gila, Kairi Sane, and Vikingo will wrestle at Forbidden Door. We will see. I don't want to jump on Forbidden Door just because of how many crazy things could happen, and maybe call me crazy. I don't care. WB, if Triple H is involved and the sale doesn't go through or anything like that, and Triple H still has his hands heavily involved in stuff, I think they're in play to be part of this Forbidden Door stuff. AEW is a little early, probably yes. I'm not counting it out though. I'm just not. I think Royal Rumble, I'll have a much better idea at where WWE is with this playing well with others situation. But we'll see. Carl Anderson was wrestling for New Japan. Shinsuke was wrestling for Noah. Ray did a thing for AAA where so they're obviously allowed to go and do things now. We'll see how far it goes. Yeah, she does. I love Kairi Sane. I would love to see her wrestle anywhere. Absolutely. And before you go, I have to talk to you about RuPaul, just to get that out there. Okay. The new season. I got to ask you some things. But with that said, we can now move on to the predictions of 2023. I'll go ahead and let you decide. Hold on. Darby and Sting are headed over there in Japan for Muta's last match as well. This is a tag team match. That's right. Sting was a part of that. That'll be fun. But I'll let you decide. Do you want to do our 3 just predictions, or do you want to go over who the winners of the big events are? Which one do you want to do first?
I'm gonna go over the winners of the events because I don't exactly have predictions. It kind of goes with who wins the events for me.
That's fine. That's fine. We're gonna break it down. We're just gonna break it down. And then we'll get Davis in here real quick. Swerve will be TNT champion 2023. 100%. 100%. The perfect person has it to take it from. Darby Allin. But we'll start with Royal Rumble. It's in a few weeks. Let me talk to you. For the men's side, I'll let you go first on this one. No, I'll go first because mine isn't a fancy pick. It's nothing. It's very basic. I really think Cody Rhodes is winning the Royal Rumble. I just do. I don't necessarily want him to. I've made a different prediction with a few other people. I've said Sami Zayn for a few other people because that's the one I want to happen. But just everything's lined up for Cody to win. So I got Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble in a few weeks. But now you had an interesting one that you were talking to me about. I want to see if you kept that one or if you changed it up, because I liked your picks because they were like, I don't see anybody else picking these people. And I like that. So
I'm going for Santos Escobar. I want Johnny Gargano to win. I do want Johnny to win. But I think Santos has kind of established himself. Like, he's a talker. He's an in-ringer. He's been proving it. Johnny's been sitting back and got injured. He hasn't had as much airtime. Let Santos run with it. I mean, it's in San Antonio. It's a big Mexican culture. From San Antonio, Texas. So that would be huge there. I want Santos to just win. I want something different, and I want some damn representation. I want a different champion, man.
Okay, so here's the. I'll go ahead and paint a picture as the most logical way this can happen. Because when you think of Santos, like there's no way he wins. That's my first thought. Is like there's no way Santos wins. But if the rumors that I've been seeing are true, and they're going to essentially strip Roman of a title, that's how you get one of the titles off him, which needs to happen. If you're going to just strip him, and you have a tournament or you have a Royal Rumble winner, I think that opens the gate for literally anybody to win it. Literally anybody, because then they don't have to main event WrestleMania. That's a falsehood. There's been plenty of people who won the Royal Rumble that did not main event WrestleMania. They did the opening match. They did just a world title match. It happens. So it's a very far-fetched idea for Santos to win. But if there's no if the winner wins the title or the winner challenges whoever ends up having the title once Roman's stripped, why not just give it to Santos and see what happens? Because it's not like it's your main event. You have many other matches on the card for WrestleMania that are going to sell the tickets. You have nothing to worry about there. You can focus on trying to create a new star for the show, really showcase certain people, and that's something that they could do. Unfortunately for you, I don't see it happening, but I'm not opposed to it at all. I love Santos. I think Santos is amazing. He's absolutely amazing. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it at all. I'd be like, yo, WWE, what's up? Give me some dap. That was a very cool move you just did, but we'll see. Says Kevin wins. Man, everybody's saying Owens win the Royal Rumble. How? I don't even think he's going to be in it. I don't think he's going to be in it. He's facing. There you go. He's facing Roman Reigns. So, yeah, that's like the fifth person that said that to me. I'm like, that'd be bold. That'd be kind of shoving Kevin Owens down our throats at that point. But
again, with my problem with the Royal Rumble is there's about like 7 names we know that are like could be favorites, or you'd be like, oh shit, yeah, he deserves to win because I can see him main event in WrestleMania. You got Gunther, Drew McIntyre, Seth, KO, Sammy, Sheamus, Bobby. I mean, those are just names that could be that. And I wanted to be way different because, I even wanted Johnny Gargano because I want them. But they got the Cody Rhodes story because even if Cody doesn't win the Rumble, it's still the story of him being to take at least a title. But everybody wants to main event WrestleMania. Don't be greedy, Cody. You got so many commercials. You need to calm down. Santos could do it. Johnny Gargano could be the next, babyface push, because he has dreams too. He said that.
But the reason I say Cody Rhodes is because, again, if the rumors are true, I could see you putting the other title on Seth Rollins and then Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, which is the popular match for some reason. Let's do it a fourth time. Cody Rhodes beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the world title. It's like, okay, I see why you did it. It would have been cooler if he did it with Roman, but whatever.
I want Seth versus Roman down the line. That's what I'm more excited about.
Oh, that story would be amazing. It would be absolutely amazing. The bloodline that they run WWE and they have for quite some time against the Rhodes family name, which has been held back, and now Cody is trying to break that. He's there to destroy the bloodline and cement the Rhodes family name and the crest as like, no, we are the one true family of professional wrestling. Like, that's a great story you can tell. And both of those guys are great at storytelling. So it will be fun. Use your brains, not your heart. I will never use my brain when it comes to wrestling. Never going to happen. Although I just did with Cody.
I'd rather have Seth versus Roman eventually down the line. That's what I want.
I thought it was interesting that Seth tweeted today that he goes, man, you know what? I think I would like the main event WrestleMania this year. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, he should. He's been busting his ass for the last 2 years. I mean,
well, when you couple that with the rumors and the Cody thing, it's like, okay, I can kind of see the thing. I don't want it to happen. I really don't, but I can see it. But women's side, exactly. Yeah, women's side. I'll let you go first on this one. Who'd you get for the women's one?
Oh, I'm going Bailey. Why? Because again, you talk about names, whether it's going to be Ronda and Becky, or Charlotte and Bianca. I've heard that. Bianca versus Rhea, Alexa versus Bianca or Rhea after they fight 3 times more on Raw for the next couple months. I even wanted to pit Nikki Cross, but I want Bailey because I want Bailey to main event. Bailey hasn't gotten that yet. I remember the last time we talked, you were saying that Becky even mentioned that she wanted a program with Bailey because she thought she deserved it and wanted her to main event with her. And plus, if you think about all the big names and someone's came back, it's been a little stagnant, her comeback, but she's been getting more momentum the last couple of weeks. So I want to see her as a main attraction again. And I think her winning the Rumble puts her there while they're still getting her, more matches, more TV time, etc. Because there's always going to be the thing of, well, who's she going to fight? There's always, let them figure out who's champ by WrestleMania.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with the titles because, again, I think Bianca's keeping the title to WrestleMania for sure.
Oh, come on.
For sure. I definitely think she does. SmackDown, though, is curious. I'm very curious. Is Charlotte going to walk in as WrestleMania's champion? And if she is, who's challenging her? Is it going to be Bailey? You're a winner? Because that makes sense to me. That would actually make sense to me if we did Bailey and Charlotte. I don't know. It's very, very interesting as far as Ronda not having the title makes things very interesting to me. Like, as much as I hate Charlotte as champion, it's better than Ronda. It's much better. Who was going
to be able to walk in and beat Ronda when she was on the tear that was she on the last couple months? It's had to be someone big, and it had to be Charlotte to do it. So,
I heard some names going around, and I was like, man, I don't like any of those ones for Ronda. So I'm glad that Charlotte took the title off her. That feels very weird for me to say that I'm glad that Charlotte won a title, but I'm glad she took it off Ronda, and because it really makes things interesting. But for me, I'm going with Rhea. David agrees with me here. He go up against Bianca, nice contrast of style and character. And the biggest thing, in which I've been preaching this forever, is that for the WrestleMania women's titles matches, a 4 horsewoman has been a part of them for as long as I can remember. They've always been involved. And everyone's like, when are we going to move on from these girls? Well, now we have the 2 biggest stars in women's wrestling as far as WWE is concerned in the WWE universe. You have the 2 biggest women's stars that are not part of this 4 horsewomen's group that could have a match at WrestleMania, and it would be the first time for a lot of people. They did on NXT. They have not faced one-on-one in WWE. They had that moment at the Royal Rumble 2 years ago where they were the last 2 in there when they eliminated Charlotte. There's a lot of story to tell there, and again, it really kind of sends a message to your fans like, hey, we're kind of moving away from the 4 horsewomen, so get ready because things are about to get crazy.
That's a good point.
I think Rhea and Bianca is a money match. And when was the last time you could say that about a women's match in WWE that did not involve Becky, Bailey, Sasha, or Charlotte? I can't think of it. I really can't think of it. So it would be huge.
Man, they're just too good, man. They got too much pull.
And I'll just slip this in real quick because you talk about Alexa and Bianca. I just want to point out that in November, when everyone was talking about Rhea Ripley and Bianca are facing Royal Rumble, it was the Drip King, Jimmy Bay, that said, no, 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 no. Alexa Bliss will turn on Bianca and she will face her at Royal Rumble. And guess what is happening, everybody? Exactly what the fuck I said. Listen to me when I am talking about these things. Or pay attention, one or the other, because that's all I'm doing. I'm just paying attention, and I see things. I just wanted to go ahead and do the Tommaso Ciampa pat on my back for that one, because I deserve it. Barry Horowitz, whatever you want to call it. Lacey Evans is being rumored for Charlotte. Nothing confirmed on that, though. Hope not. Hope not. No, 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 no. You think Mickie James enters the Royal Rumble again for the second year? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Mickie did it last year. I think the next time we see Mickie in WWE is when she comes back to WWE for her Hall of Fame. 2023 predictions. Takeshita will hold all the Atlantis titles. I don't agree with the top flight. I do agree with Takeshita, though. I think Takeshita, at one point in his career, will be the best wrestler in the world. I think that highly of the man. He is so, so good. Another match you should check out if you have time is Bryan Danielson versus Takeshita. He hits that man with a lariat off the top rope. And it looks like a Spanish fly, but it's not. It is. He hits him with a lariat, and it's just like, what the did I just watch? It was crazy. I think Takeshita holds gold, though. I definitely see him with the All-Atlantic one. Is she a free agent? I didn't know if she was a free agent. I don't think she's in the Royal Rumble, though. Not until she loses that title. But now we move on to Money in the Bank. We'll run through these ones rather quickly so we can get to our predictions. But for the men's side, who you got for the Money in the Bank?
It's weird, but I want Grayson Waller by then to come to the WWE. It's like June, right? I mean, there's time. I want Grayson, dude. I really want Grayson Waller to be called up by then and be in the Money in the Bank match somehow. You know, he can out theory Austin Theory for that Money in the Bank and have those two look at each other because their personalities are close enough. But I'm going Grayson Waller, dude.
I'm not mad. Anybody know me? I love Grayson Waller. I'd rather him be NXT champion though. At that time, that's what I would rather him be. But probably
he'll lose it. Probably lose it by then.
He won't even win it. He ain't winning it.
No, he'll win, but he'll lose it by then and go to WWE.
Well, I won't be mad at Grayson Waller winning anything. I love the dude. I think he's awesome. But so for my choice on Money in the Bank, let me talk to you. L.A. Knight.
I'm good with
that. I told people, a lot of people, when the Bray Wyatt LA Knight thing started, they were like, what? This makes no sense. It was very strange pairing. And I was like, man, it's actually a genius pairing because LA Knight, I really think he's going to end up winning at Royal Rumble because Bray Wyatt can take a loss right now and he's fine. And if LA Knight beats him, he's elevated so much in the eyes of the viewers. He's overtaken Bray in this feud so far, in my opinion. The segments, I think I've just naturally gravitated towards LA Knight. I'm like, dude, he is a star. Yeah. When he is talking, you're like, all right, LA, I got you, buddy. LA Knight with the Money in the Bank. Those promos are going to be awesome. Him going after, I would assume at this point, Cody's probably a WWE champion. LA Knight going after Cody Rhodes. Yeah. Thank you very much. I think that's money written all over it. I think LA Knight is the perfect kind of person for the Money in the Bank and can actually bring some much needed prestige back to that belt or that briefcase because that's been kind of a joke for a little bit. So I think LA Knight would be wonderful for it. And as far as the women's one, this is going to be a surprise. I'm taking Charlotte Flair. I will not tell you why I'm taking Charlotte Flair. I will explain it later in my predictions for the year, why I'm taking Charlotte Flair. But I think Charlotte Flair loses her title either before or at WrestleMania, and she wins Money in the Bank. Again, I'll let you know in a little bit why. Who you got for your women's side?
Do I really have to? Okay, yeah. You know what? I switched it up, man. I picked Io Sky.
Hey, not a bad choice.
By then, they're dissolved. They're done. And then Io can actually, bring up a new star that's actually credible. It's not like a SummerSlam match or a Mania match. No, she's just going to cash in. You just know she's going to be champion one day.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to know a fresh face is going to do that. So I'm going for Io Sky. I was going to pick Tiffany Stratton.
Hey, if anything, my choices for Money in the Bank was all brain, baby. All brain, baby. Again, I made the LA Knight one sound like a genius idea. And when I talk about the Charlotte one, it's going to blow some minds. I really think so. And I think you are going to pop, Tidey, when I explain to you why.
What I want to hear. That's why I'm here, man.
Io Sky, though, is a great choice. I'm not mad at that at all. Because I think for her to be taken seriously in that role, she needs to win. That would be the way she needs to win the title the first time. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that would be the easiest way to get her to that spot. Because honestly, there's an argument to be made that she's one of the absolute best in-ring performers in the women's division right now anyway. So getting her to the top anyway, I'm all for. I'm a fan of. King and Queen of the Ring. We will go with King first. I'm gonna let you go because I think you're gonna like my pick, so I'll leave that pop for then. Who you got for the King of the Ring?
I was picking LA Knight, man. That was
hey, that's fine. That's fine.
Because I want him. I didn't see him get going for a title immediately. I was like, I want him to get a big spot. Because I thought maybe he'll lose to Bray, but I want him to get King of the Ring at least this year because I love him that much.
LA Knight's not a bad choice at all. It would be interesting because he's got charisma. He can talk. So what he would do with that whole King gimmick is it's always fascinating to think like where is he going to take it? Because he's very creative, clearly. Where is his mind going to take that thing? It would be fun. I'm not against it at all. Alert, Punk will wrestle for the first time since 2005 to bring on the title ring against Adam Cole, baby. Hey, bro. hook the heart monitor up to me. I'll be dead. You gonna give me CM Punk versus Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor title, bro? Long live Eli Drake. He's L.A. Knight now. Get over that Eli Drake stuff. Okay, so for King, I wanted someone again who has charisma. I wanted someone who, when they put that crown on, I know that they're going to do something special with it. And I also wanted to elevate someone to the next level, so we can be like, that's where they belong. It didn't happen with Xavier, and it hurts my feelings to this day. I really thought it was going to, and it just didn't. I hate it because I love Xavier Woods so much. This one, you put the King of the Ring on Carmelo Hayes.
Oh,
that is money. You are printing money. Yeah, with Trick by your side, bro. That is some entertaining television that I just gave you all.
That's really good.
I write it down, Trips. I know you're watching. Put the King of the Ring. Put Carmelo as the King of the Ring. It would be amazing. King Dom. That's a very real possibility, unfortunately. But hey, I think it could be funny, so I'm not gonna hate completely on it.
That would be funny.
No, Carmelo Hayes, I think, is made for King of the Ring. I really do. The sky's the limit for the dude. You got to start somewhere. Carmelo Hayes is King of the Ring. It's gonna be fucking fun. It would be so fun. And I just want Trick Williams on the main roster because that dude has the gift of gab.
Love him.
He's by far one of the funniest people I've ever seen on wrestling. Queen of the Ring. I'm going with the girl who's she's in limbo. She shouldn't be because I've actually started to become a fan of her. I didn't think it was going to happen. But Liv Morgan, I think, could do some really good stuff with the Queen of the Ring, especially if she turns into this psycho crazy person, a queen psycho. I don't know. I just feel like Liv Morgan is going to continue to get these opportunities until she just falters all of them. But she has won me over lately, so I'll give her a chance as Queen of the Ring. I think it could be fun. That's my choice. Who you got?
I got Sonya Deville. She's been more interesting these last 2 weeks. I feel like she doesn't get her due. I want her to be a top heel. I already know she can talk. I already know she's good in the ring, but she hasn't had that one banger match. She needs to win against somebody big and have they're feuding with Charlotte. So there's hope for me that she'll be that big heel.
Yeah. I think she just needs more reps. I think that's always been the case with her because she's never been a consistent performer on TV.
Yeah.
So if you're not consistent, you're never going to get better.
I like to see her as queen. What do you know? Her and Liv are friends, right? Maybe they can share the throne.
Let's see. Dom, he says Dom will hold a title. He'll hold the tag titles for sure, 100%, 100%. Jonathan Gresham will dethrone Josh Alexander. Unfortunately, I don't watch enough Impact to give a idea on that. I don't think I would like it. I think Josh Alexander is just too damn good, and that's not a knock on Gresham. I just think Josh Alexander is too damn good. You better have a great reason to take the title off of him. And so he doesn't get enough credit at all. Nope, she definitely doesn't. But so those are our choices for the big three events to pick the winners: Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, King and Queen of the Ring. I'm happy with pretty much everything we said. If any of it happens, I'm happy with it. I think it could be fun. But now is where we gonna get juicy. I told Tidey here to come up with some wild predictions that not necessarily that he thinks is going to happen, that he just wants to see though. He just wants to see these crazy nonsensical things happen. So with that, we're just gonna go back and forth. I will let you go first though. Tell me what you got.
All right. I know everybody didn't. Not a lot of people liked it, but I think Jinder Mahal is going to come back as the modern day Maharaja. He's already on NXT. He's got leave me alone. All right, look, he got Veer. He's got Veer with him. Another guy's name that I can't even pronounce. He's bigger than Death. Man,
They're
he looks like Big Van Vader. Like they ate Big Van Vader for brunch. They're huge together, dude. But since he ain't got the little twins with him anymore, he can come out with them instead. His attitude, he has this mean look on his face, like he's pissed off again, and he's showing that on NXT. I was like, that's what I can want. I want Jinder. I know not everybody liked his move sets and all that stuff, but man, his presentation and his personality, and then how he's coming out, just like no
the character.
Y'all want respect. It's like, you know who doesn't? I don't. Like, he's here to take shit.
Yeah.
And I love it. I want Jinder to be champion again. I think it's going to happen in 2023. That's my crazy prediction. Will it? It's crazy. So, shit, I want it. So.
All right, so I'll give a quick one. This is a freebie for you. Darby is Sting's last opponent because Sting said he's going to retire in 2023. So Darby being Sting's last opponent makes a lot of sense. Here's my freebie for you. Darby Allin is going to turn on Sting. I think it happens at Great Muda's match. I said it. That's what I think happens. Darby is kind of looking at Sting when he comes out because he won the title. Sting came out and he kind of side-eyed him like, yo, I'm celebrating here. And then here comes Sting to hug him and celebrate with him. So it's like, that makes sense. But then this past week when Darby won, Sting came out and he started doing the woo, and he was kind of taking the spotlight away from Darby. And you see Darby just kind of standing over there like, yo, what's up with that, man? I think maybe I'm seeing things I just want to see. I don't know. I think Darby turns on Sting, and that's how you get to that last match. I think it'd be fun. That was a freebie. That's not one of my three. But I will say, for my third, I'm going backwards because I'm saving the good one for last. So it's not that crazy, I guess, because, I mean, it's about time. But I think Rey Mysterio Jr. retires this year. And when he retires, he loses his mask. And that's not that significant for people who've been watching because they've seen him without the mask before. But a lot of people haven't seen him lose his mask because they've only watched WWE. They don't know. And him losing his mask would be a crazy big deal to these people. And Dom is the person to do it. Not a crazy, crazy theory, but I want to see it happen, and I think it does happen. So probably at WrestleMania. And then Ray just kind of goes off and does the once-a-year return thing for a Saudi show, get a nice paycheck, go back home. That's what I think. That's my first prediction. And it's Veer, Sangha, and Jinder.
Thank you, Sangha.
And Veer and Sangha are much better cronies to have than those last two guys Jinder had, because that was a joke. These two guys aren't jokes. They look like people that I don't want to run into. So, yep, they're slow. So, okay, Dave's on board with me with that, with the Darby and Sting thing. So, I'm not crazy. It's happening. So, with that, swing it back over to Tidey. What else you got?
All right. Since everybody else has already came back to Tyler Bates, all the people that kind of got called up to NXT. I keep seeing Noam Dar's name on there, the girl that he's dating from NXT UK, like on the WWE official roster. You know, because of that, and because they brought Mako back to NXT, I think Mako's going to go to WWE this year. And some of those things they talked about Bayley, you know, being intimidated by Mako, some of the Four Horsewomen being scared of Mako, and how they want to beat the final boss. You know, they want to beat somebody that's world renowned.
Yeah.
To cement their legacy. I think Mako comes back and she has a rivalry with Charlotte Flair, because Charlotte's going to be the first, like she says, I like to push myself. I like to expect more from myself. but she hasn't beaten the world boss yet.
So there's one person I know for sure that is loving this idea, and that's our good buddy Nick. He is through the roof right now about the idea of Mako Satomura on WWE television against Charlotte Flair.
Come on, Nick.
Nothing makes that man happier than that idea. So good job on that one. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Nick. Just for you. It's for me, man. I need this.
So for my second one, I think we all know Cody Rhodes is winning the title. I at some point this year, unless I'm not even going to put it in the universe, Cody Rhodes is going to win a title this year. WWE title when it won't be the Universal. I think it'll be WWE title. Okay. Everybody's really excited for it because it will be awesome. I'll get to it, babe. It will be really, really awesome. I think for my next prediction, it's not that Cody Rhodes wins the title. Cody Rhodes' title run, though, is going to be a flop. It is going to be bad because the story is he's got to win that title because his dad never did. And it's a great story. It truly is. I laid out what I think you could go with, and it would be really awesome. And I'm 100%. But once he wins the title, then what? Babyfaces already kind of have it hard when they're champion. Like it's like the chase. For the baby faces, it's more about the chase than it is the holding the title. We saw it with Seth a few years ago. Everyone loved Seth. They're like, put the title on Seth. They put the title on Seth, and it was like, take the fuck title off Seth. Happens all the time. And this is not a knock on Cody at all because I think he does great at what he does. He's phenomenal. But I just don't see where does it go after he wins it. He just goes into that. All right, I defended against this guy. I defended it against this guy. Here you go. Seen with Hangman Sue, a 2-year story that people had were just on their edge of their seat, like it's happening, and it happened, and everyone's like, yes. And then week by week, they're like, what else you got? And then when he finally lost it, everyone's like, yeah, well, it was kind of mediocre anyway. So babyfaces have this problem. I know everyone's super excited to see Cody as champion. Unfortunately, I really think it's just going to suck. The moment he wins it is going to be awesome. All for it. Afterwards, it's going to be boring, and we're going to be begging for the title to be taken off of him. That's what I think happens, unfortunately. Prove me wrong, though, Cody. Please prove me wrong. Please, I'm begging you, prove me wrong. I don't want it to happen. See, they will turn on him. Unless things are interesting, they always turn on him. And I just don't see a story interesting enough with Cody as champion that would keep people invested. So, Drip King stickers. Yes, stay tuned to the end. I got Drip King stickers to hand out to everybody. So, here's one from David. Nick Wayne debuts on Dynamite in a match. I thought he couldn't do it till he graduated. I don't know where he is with that, but here you go. Jay White signs with AEW. Danielson will wrestle in the main event. Wrestle Kingdom. Mercedes will win IWGP Women's title. So, here's what I say about this one. Jay White. This is another freebie. I thought Jay White was coming to WWE prior to the bullshit news that broke out. That wasn't even news. It was just a rumor, silly ass rumor on Tuesday. I thought it was a very real possibility Jay White came to WWE, in which I was salivating at the thought of just seeing Jay White and Seth Rollins at a WrestleMania program. Unfortunately, I don't think it happens now. I think he does go to AEW because things are very uncertain in WWE at the moment. So you can't invest the next 3-4 years of your life with a company where you don't know where they're going. Sucks, but it is what it is. Cody do a good deal. Yes, he was. So if he won the title and then became a heel afterwards, bro, done. You done flipped the script on me, and I'm happy as shit, Cody. Do that. But if he stays babyface, it's gonna suck. But I digress. We'll go back to our predictions. Number one, what is the number one prediction swerve, crazy nonsense that you want to see happen in 2023?
Damage control turns on Bayley. Bayley goes Kevin Owens style babyface.
She needs it.
I mean, I think she can do okay the way she is now. I really do. But it's either they go babyface, or I feel better that because she's already loved as much as it is, all she does got to do is put on that personality that Kevin's got. Kevin ain't like, just shut up and saying those basic lines. And You know, Kevin's got edge to him. He speaks his mind. I think Bailey can pull that off. She kept talking about reinventing herself, and she had done it once. And we all know it's been a long time. People have to reinvent it maybe one more time if she's not feeling comfortable where she's at. And I think Damage Control does that this year. Damage Control turns on her. Maybe because she can't win a belt over and over again, and Damage Control is still tag team champion. I don't know what's going to go on, but I feel like they're going to turn on her.
So I'll say this: I think it happens either at Royal Rumble or not long after. It'll happen before WrestleMania. I think.
And I'm for the babyface turn for her. I mean,
yeah,
I want to see it because it didn't work out the first time the way I wanted it to, and if she does it right, I just want to see it happen. It's scary as shit to think though, because what if she can't pull it off? Like that's the end. You know, how are you gonna go back to heel after that?
So here's my thing with Bailey is she's doing kind of the same shtick she did with Sasha when they were in the Thunderdome, and it was awesome. Sasha was a great partner for her with that gimmick. It's not working with Damage Control because it's like you're kind of being silly and you're kind of being like goofy with it, but y'all are here on a serious mission. It doesn't mesh. I think that's what I've kind of pinpointed as what I think the problem with Damage Control is. I love all three that are involved. Bailey's awesome. Dakota's awesome. Io is phenomenal. It's just not working. And I think that has something to do with it. I don't want it to be laughing, haha, things are... No. Y'all are here on a mission. Be serious with it. And they're going to kick Bailey out because she doesn't take things seriously enough. And Bailey goes babyface, which she needs at this point. And I think that's what happens. And then just to touch on this, the Mako, she needs to make her debut time. Royal Rumble. She'll be in the Royal Rumble. I have no doubt. I have no doubt in my mind she's in the Royal Rumble.
Like that's the one I'm happiest about.
Yeah.
If I see Mako versus anybody, is what I want to see.
I'll say this: I don't buy into this. I don't think Paul feeds into that shit. The fact
that'll be the day we see Paul resign on Twitter.
when Paul resigns, then I'm like, okay, shit's done hit the fan, and this is what's been happening. The fact that Paul was against Vince coming back, that Stephanie left, and people were like, man, Triple H ain't going because he's like, I've been fucking waiting many years for this. I'm not leaving.
He'll weather the storm.
He'll weather the storm, and he will fight. And that's why he held that meeting before SmackDown to let people know, like, hey, it's all me still, baby. It's Vince ain't got nothing to do with it, and I'm gonna go with that until I see something silly. Then we'll talk we'll talk about it then. But
it's not to say that what Dave's writing there doesn't hold weight.
It could happen.
I'm saying it's not going to happen, but it doesn't mean what he's saying isn't something that scares me in the back of my mind because it's a threat. I just don't think Triple H is going to let go of the ball. I don't think
no, absolutely not. There will be a struggle, and Paul will have to be removed for that to happen. And that's why I said until I see something silly happen, I'm not gonna feed into it. Because I've already seen some people do it. When Jinder showed up in NXT and beat Julius, everyone's like, oh, that's a Vince McMahon move. It's like, no, you're only saying that because of the other news that's happening right now. Stop it. Just stop it. I think a lot of people go to that all the time. Like, that's a Vince move. Vince must be in control again. Stop it. Stop. Not everything has to be so scandalous and intricate. Just stop.
And logically, if you want to think about it, just using your brain like you do, all the people that Vince got let go, Triple H brought back to give him a chance. You think he's just going to let that shit slide? You're messing with people's lives now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, he's going to hold on to that ball until we see a resignation on Twitter. I'm not believing that bullshit.
Yeah. And here, I'll touch this one before I give my last one. Mercedes will hold gold. I'll tell you what, Mercedes doesn't even go to AEW. I don't think it happens. Really don't think it happens. Nope.
You think she's going to stay in New Japan?
I think she'll be back in WWE before the year is over.
Wow. That would be...
I do.
That would be something.
I do. And if it's not before the end of this year, it'll be at next year's Rumble. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong sometimes for sure. I don't have any inside sources or anything like that. I just use my brain. But I think if you were going to bring Mercedes, you would have done it this past week when you had the guest announce the surprise mystery partner thing that they went with, that people lost their minds over because they're just entitled dipshits.
I mean, she's got her best friend at SmackDown, honestly, or what are they on Raw? I don't know anymore.
Yeah,
because they're on both shows with Bailey. So
yeah, I think she's gonna see how the culture might have changed a bit in WWE with Triple H in charge of creative. I guess at the end, it's just going to really depend on the sale. If things go south, then yes, Mercedes will probably end up going to AEW. If things don't go south and Triple H remains in control of creative, again, because Comcast or Disney buys it and they're like, yeah, we like what Triple H is doing, we'll let him continue. She comes back to WWE. That's what I think happens. He does have some Vince tendencies, and that's important because as much as people hate Vince, the people who hate Vince are the people who are diehard, the diehard fans. And what the diehard fans like aren't what the casuals like. And WWE appeases to the casuals. So you have to have some of those tendencies to appease to those casuals, or you're not going to have those people who don't really watch wrestling showing up to your events. They're going to be like, oh, this isn't what we're used to. We're going to stop. You have to have some of the entertainment tendencies there, or it doesn't work. I've seen literally off the top of my head, I can't think of a thing Paul has done so far that I'm like, that was dumb, other than how he handled the finals of the women's tag tournament. That's the only thing I look at with Paul, and I'm like, what were you thinking, man? Maybe there's one more thing, but nothing has been like Vince put that in his head. Like, that's never been a thought that crossed my mind. So, and this is coming from a person who watched the Vince stuff and was like, I can see a difference between the two. I didn't hate everything Vince did, but I can clearly see there's a difference between the two. And I've seen nothing that makes me think Vince is like, hey, Paul, this is how you should do it. David said, looking forward to a Shida heel turn. Yes. Again, for the people who are out there wondering why they announce a mystery partner and then not the this is Hikaru Shida, not Kushida. People were wondering why they announced a mystery partner and then didn't deliver to Mercedes. Because they were telling a story about Hikaru Shida getting her feelings hurt and then turning heel. Pay attention. That's all you got to do. I promise people. Just pay attention. It makes sense if you pay attention. If you don't watch the show and you just see clips, then yeah, you're going to be like Vince Russo being like, bro, I don't get it, bro. Yeah, because you didn't watch it. So watch it and it'll make sense. But my top prediction of just crazy, nonsensical, is it going to there's no way that could happen. But man, there's a possibility, and that would be awesome. I said earlier that Charlotte Flair is going to win Money in the Bank. And we saw earlier this year, was it late last year, whenever Austin Theory cashed in. That Money in the Bank isn't for just the world title. It can be for any title. That's the way that was presented when Austin Theory explained himself the next week. We've been talking about a women's secondary title for a good minute now. Charlotte Flair cashes in and wins the United States title, officially claiming it as now the women's secondary title. Because if you are going to have any woman on that, we've seen Rhea wrestling Tozawa and getting physical with other men. We've seen it lately. If there was one woman on that roster, there's two. Rhea's the other one. But if I was to say, hey, give me a woman from the WWE roster that you would believe could get in there with a dude, one of the men, and wrestle them and have a great match with them and go toe-to-toe with them, keep up with them, and put on a good match with one of them. Who are you picking?
Oh, Charlotte.
It's Charlotte Flair. So by doing so, you're not killing credibility with it at all. She's doing it with a briefcase. So she's taking advantage of a situation. It's Charlotte Flair. She's known for winning titles all the time. And we all know that as far as in the ring goes, she's the bee's knees. She's awesome. So Jordan Grace, you saying Jordan Grace, she ain't in WWE. Sorry, it doesn't work. But Charlotte, I don't think it's that crazy to think this happens. Triple H is going to start sparking some crazy ideas out. And that's my craziest prediction I have for the year. And
it makes sense. I mean, the amount of women that they're putting into NXT right now, you saw that 20-woman Royal Rumble or that 20 whatever Battle Royal to fight Roxanne Perez. I was like, man, I look at all that. I was like, like 80% of those are really talented. They're starting to break out in their own little, way.
Yeah.
And then think about Tiffany coming back, and I can really see it if they're putting that much money into getting a bunch of women to get prepared to go to WWE. That would be great this year, because you talked about it. I've talked about it. I want a mid-card title so bad for the women, dude. It would fix everything.
Yeah.
And then the men would we have their own championship, other champion, Intercontinental, whatever. Intercontinental champion, he can switch between both brands for all we care. Talking about it's an open challenge. I don't know. I don't care. Let's give the woman another title. I'll take the U.S. title.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy. That's a damn good idea.
I knew you'd love it, bro. I did that one.
Shit.
I did that one kind of for you, man. Merry Christmas.
Early,
and just to touch on it, most women can get in the ring with. I agree with this 100%. I'm not shitting on women. Again, women's wrestling is one of my absolute favorite things in wrestling right now. So I'm not crapping on them at all. I'm speaking from a casual viewer, the other viewer's perspective. They're looking at it and they're like, if Nikki Cross got in there with AJ Styles and beat him, people would be like, this is bullshit. If Lacey Evans got in there with Finn Balor and she beat him, they'd be like, this is bullshit. If Charlotte Flair got in there and beat Damian Priest, I think people would be like, yeah, I can see that.
I can Queen's boot his face and put him in a figure 8 leg lock.
and again, that's not a knock on literally anybody involved in the conversation that we're having. Not a knock on anybody. I'm just looking at it from the casual viewer's point of view. You have to kind of do it for them as well, because again, you can't alienate anybody in these situations. So
I like it. And I think Courtney was talking about Jordan Grace. Maybe she was talking about retiring soon. Maybe her contract's up. So maybe she's
she was just throwing Jordan, because Jordan Grace could beat the shit out of some dudes. 100%.
Oh, she's awesome.
100%. Mandy will not sign more in 2023. I don't think so. I think she comes back to WWE. Kenny Omega puts over Ospreay in their final match. He definitely should. It doesn't top that first match though. I think that's nearly impossible. That would be really, really, really hard. And I'll just go ahead and touch on this since you asked. I know we're past the time, but it's the first one back. I don't care. Thoughts on Rampage match? I didn't mind it. Again, I've been sucked into the debate online with some shit, because everyone's complaining that Ruby's bleeding too much, and it's like, stop, like just turn it off. Because the people I see complaining about it are the people who apparently don't watch. So it's like they see a picture and like, I don't want to see this. Well, you don't have to. It was a hardcore match. It was the culmination of a feud between Ruby and Tay and Jay. So I expect these kind of things to happen. Bleeding that much? Maybe not, but it happened. So it is what it is. It was a hardcore match. It's not like she did it in a regular match. There was weapons involved. Bleed. Go ahead. It doesn't bother me at all. I do feel bad for Anna Jay. She took a nasty power bomb because they did it off a stage. I don't know if you've seen the clip, but she went to power bomb Anna Jay off the stage through a table, and then the Willow Nightingale's went to the power bomb. She went to the table, and Anna Jay just hit the ground.
Holy shit!
I've heard nothing bad, so apparently maybe she's not injured. Hopefully that'd be awesome. But yeah, I saw it and I was like, ooh, yeah, I'm probably gonna hit somebody backstage if they did that to me. But the match itself, I had no problems with. Even my son, who hates blood, was into it. So I'm not that dumb fan base. I'm not. I thought it was all right. I'll say this: the match isn't for everybody. If you're not okay with blood, you're not gonna like it. But I'm okay with blood to an extent. And my whole argument behind it is that people get mad when they see that kind of blood in a match, specifically women for some reason, because they're weirdos. But Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins had match of the year when Cody Rhodes was wrestling with a torn pec. That was one of the most gruesome things I've ever seen in my life. How you're okay with that and not okay with blood in a match doesn't make sense to me. That's my argument on it, Dave. There you go. Again, I'm all for it. It was one of Ruby's better matches. So I'm not going to hate on that. Tay, like, she thrives in these hardcore matches. She loves them. Like, she's crazy. She loves this shit. So good for her. I would have liked to see Willow Nightingale not hurt Anna Jay, which she might not have, but that's not a knock on Willow Nightingale either, because she's awesome. So the ladies had a moment. Good for them. It's been the talk of Twitter for 2 days now, so that's good on them too. Whether it's good or bad, they're being talked about. So yeah, that's my take on the Rampage match. What else happened on Rampage? There was another good match on Rampage that I liked. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, there you go. Glad Ruby won. She couldn't watch it, but she was glad that Ruby won. It was bad. It was very bloody. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, if Ruby would have lost, then I'd probably have a problem with it. But Ruby won. She got her moment, so good for her. But that's the show. For the people watching, you made it all the way to the end. Where they at? Where they at though? Hold on, I'll be right back.
He's got supposedly stickers. I heard something about stickers earlier.
I don't support illegal activity at all, 100%. But
damn it.
Oh yeah, TNT title, Darby Allin versus Juice Robinson. That was fun. Again, it was Darby Allin. I love Darby Allin. We going viral with some tagging. I got some stickers here, bro. I got a box of stickers right here. I'm not gonna dump them out. That's a big mess. If you want some Drip King stickers, just hit me up. DM me with your address, and I'll send them to you, free of charge. Free of charge. And tag whatever you want. I don't even care. I'm not gonna say I told them to, but the kids were tagging some things around town. Feel free to join them or not. Your choice. I don't care. But that's what we're doing now. Big shout out to my girl Amanda for ordering these and making them happen. My biggest supporter. I can't thank her enough. This is just the first step in what we're doing this year. I'm expanding. I'm trying to do some bigger things this year. This is just the start of it. So if you want some stickers, tell your friends, get some stickers and put them on your friends' stuff. I don't care. Let's make it happen. Send me your address and I'll send you some in a nice little envelope. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't even care. I'll send you some. I got a big old box of them. So with that, Tidey, we didn't go over that much, which is a good thing because we've been gone and we were very excited to talk about wrestling. So 12 minutes, I can live with that.
Yeah.
If you have anything you want to say before we say our goodbyes, now is your chance to do so.
Oh man, I seen that movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. That movie's so damn good, Jimmy. You need to watch that movie. I'm gonna tell you to watch that movie.
You're the second person to tell me this, so
and the one with the cat, Puss in Boots. Excellent movie.
I'll have to watch that one eventually. I'll have to watch.
Stupid good. I don't even know how to explain it.
I love cats. I love cats, so I'm gonna watch it anyway. But yeah, the kids are already like, yeah, I want to watch Puss in Boots. I'm like, all right, but deep down, I'm like, man, I want to watch
like Spider-Verse. It's like the Spider-Verse action scenes.
I'm sold, buddy.
I'm telling you, it's like the Spider-Verse action scenes. Hey, you're like, is this is not what I'm used to? Yeah, you're gonna love it.
Spider-Verse was the best Spider-Man movie until No Way Home. So if it's anything like that, I'm sold.
I just told you. Yeah.
I'll watch it without the kids. How about that?
It's that good. That's all I got.
Yeah. He said the Dynamite show and Rampage show in your DMs. And I'll say this, man. I know it's hard for you to watch them. If you can make time to watch Dynamite right now, I would do it. It's the best week. It's the best weekly show on TV right now.
I was saying, like, I wish they had like an AEW app. My broke ass Hulu ass is just living on Hulu and Peacock, living my weakest life.
I tell you what, I got some info for you when we get off the show. I might be able to help you out. But with that, tomorrow, Raw recap. It's been on hiatus, just like the PAW show. It's back tomorrow, Raw recap, in which I will be promoting some more of these stickers, baby. So come back tomorrow night. We'll go over Raw because Raw has been good lately too. It's been good, but straight up, I think Dynamite. A lot of people are like ratings. I don't give a shit about ratings. The show has been superb the last few weeks. Like, it can't get better in my opinion. That's how good the show has been. So any fan of wrestling should be checking it out.
That's good to hear.
That's my opinion on
it. That's really good to hear.
To any of the tribalistic assholes who watch this, that were like, oh, stop, because you are missing out on a great product right now. The Ring of Honor app is amazing, and the weekly show is starting this month. I still need you. I gotta talk to you about that one, David, because I'm curious about some stuff on it. But he also mentioned that there's like a 6-hour Kevin Steen thing on this Ring of Honor app, and that alone makes me want to buy it just for at least 1 month. But yeah, so the Raw recap's back tomorrow. Wrestle Buddy will be back doing some things. We're back in business this week. Just stay tuned for it. We're going to be doing a lot of new stuff this year. I'm very excited for the things we're going to be doing. So just stay tuned. I promise you won't be disappointed. That's all I'll say. When has Jimmy Bebe ever lied to y'all? When it comes to fun and exciting stuff, I might be wrong about booking, but I've never been wrong. And also stay tuned for either later this month or the beginning of next month. That would be February, the first episode of my new thing for my channel on this channel that you're watching right now. Book It Bebe. I did one with the captain a few weeks ago or months ago when we booked the tournament. I will be rebooking the acclaimed scissor trademark storyline that AW completely botched. They botched it like a motherfucker. I'm fixing it. So keep your eyes peeled for that one because it's going to be beautiful. And with that, I will say goodbye. I will see you all tomorrow for the Raw recap. So until then, laters. And get your stickers.